The night was calm at the Deep Space Listening Station on the outskirts of Nevada. The desert wind moved across the sand, and the sky looked peaceful, filled with bright stars. Inside the station, only a few lights were on, and most of the staff had gone home after a long day. Dr. Aaron Miles, a quiet and focused space researcher, sat alone at his desk. He had spent the last 10 years listening for signals from space, hoping one day to hear proof of life beyond Earth. Most nights were silent, filled only with the soft hum of computers and the ticking of the large clock on the wall. Tonight felt no different. Until the silence broke, a sudden sharp beep echoed through the control room. Aaron lifted his head, confused. The sound was not part of any usual system alert. The monitor in front of him flickered, showing a signal waveform that he had never seen before. Aaron leaned closer. "This can't be right," he whispered to himself. He checked the frequency. It was not from Earth, not from a satellite, not from any known human technology. The signal was coming from deep space, far beyond the solar system. Aaron's heart began to beat faster. He quickly pressed the record button. Data lines ran across the screen, showing strange symbols, patterns, and pulses. It was a message, clearly structured. He rushed to call his colleague Sarah Lynn, a communication expert. She arrived within minutes, still wearing her jacket, her hair messy from the night breeze. "What happened? Why did you call me at midnight?" she asked. Aaron pointed at the screen without saying a word. Sarah stared at the signal, her face slowly changing from sleepy to shocked. "This is not random," she said softly. "Someone sent this." For hours, the two worked together to decode the strange transmission. The message was not in any known human language, but there was a pattern they could understand. It repeated a set of coordinates again and again, not coordinates on Earth, but in space. After hours of decoding, a short part of the message became clear. Sarah read it out loud, her voice shaking. "Do not answer. They are watching." The room fell silent. A cold chill ran down Aaron's spine. It made no sense. If the message warned not to answer, then why send it at all? Before they could discuss further, the station lights flickered. Screens glitched for a second. An automatic communication system connected to the giant radio dish outside started powering up. Aaron's eyes widened. No, stop! The system thinks it's a call!" he shouted. The computer interpreted the signal as a contact request and began sending a standard Earth reply back into space. The automated system was built for quick response if a possible intelligent signal was detected. It was meant to show curiosity and peace. Sarah tried to abort the transmission, but it was too late. A bright green light on the control panel blinked. A message had left Earth's atmosphere. Traveling into the dark of space, Sarah stepped back, feeling numb. "We just answered," she whispered. Aaron ran both hands through his hair, panic growing inside him. Whoever sent the message had warned them not to reply. Now Earth had replied. They called the station director Mr. Howard Graves, a strict man who always tried to stay calm, even in disaster. He arrived within 20 minutes, his face serious as he listened to their report. "You're telling me we may have contacted a civilization that did not want to reply?" he asked. "Not a civilization," Aaron said. "Someone was warning us. Maybe a survivor, maybe someone in danger." Mr. Graves was not the type to panic. He ordered everyone to stay quiet and keep the incident secret until they understood more. But the silence did not last long. Less than an hour after Earth's reply was sent, something strange happened. The communication dish outside began turning on its own. No one touched the controls. The dish pointed at a different section of the sky, as if something was guiding it. Then a low humming sound filled the station. The speakers crackled. Static turned into a deep whispering voice, not human, not clear, but it spoke in slow, broken English. "Earth has spoken." Everyone froze. Sarah covered her mouth. Aaron felt his heart drop. The voice continued, sounding distant, echoing like it came from a vast, empty place. "We are coming." The station power shut down. Darkness filled the room except for one screen still working. Glowing with a final message in the same alien symbols they had decoded earlier, Aaron slowly translated it. Prepare for collection. Lightning flashed outside. Thunder rolled across the desert sky, like nature itself was warning them. Something had heard Earth's answer, something that was already on the way. And somewhere far in the cold, endless darkness of space, something began to move. The next morning, the deep space listening station did not look the same. Armed military guards surrounded the building, blocking all roads. Black cars arrived one after another. Men and women in dark uniforms entered the station with strict orders. No information leaves this place. Dr. Aaron Miles and Sarah Lynn stood in the control room as military teams disconnected cables, locked computers, and took every device that recorded the signal. The station director, Mr. Graves, was arguing with a high-rank officer, General Marcus Hale. "You can't shut us down like this," Mr. Graves said firmly. "This is a scientific matter." General Hale looked at him without emotion. "This is no longer science. This is a threat to Earth." Aaron knew the general was right. The message they received and the voice that replied did not feel like a friendly invitation. It felt like a warning or a claim. By afternoon, the government made a decision. A secret meeting was held in an underground base where top leaders, scientists, and military officers gathered to discuss one question. What happens if they arrive? No one had an answer. On the second night after the signal was sent, strange things began to happen across the world. A bright streak of light crossed over India, then changed direction sharply in the sky, something no meteor could do. 3 satellites stopped responding above Europe. In Brazil, people reported a large shadow moving above the clouds, silent but enormous. No sound, no attack, just presence. It felt like Earth was being watched. On the third day, the first contact happened. The event did not take place in the sky or space. It happened in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. A massive object appeared on radar, bigger than any submarine, larger than any known ship. It rose slowly from the deep water, pushing the ocean waves aside like it owned the sea. The object was smooth, black, and shaped like a giant oval. No windows, no visible doors. Naval ships approached it carefully, surrounding it. Soldiers waited, fingers on triggers, hearts racing. But the object did not move or show any threat. After nearly 1 hour of silence, the surface of the object shifted. It opened, not like a door, more like the metal itself peeled back, forming an entrance. Everyone expected a peaceful greeting, maybe an ambassador, maybe an exchange of knowledge, but what came out was nothing like that. A tall, thin alien figure stepped forward. Its skin was pale grey, its eyes large and dark without pupils, and its movements calm but cold. More followed, 5 in total. They did not look curious or excited. They looked like they were inspecting something unimportant, as if Earth was not a new world, but a sample. The lead alien, wearing a metallic chest piece with glowing marks, spoke through a device on its wrist. The translation was instant and emotionless. "We are the Azark Dominion. We acknowledge your reply. Deliver a representative of your species for evaluation." The naval commander stepped forward. "Evaluation? For what purpose?" The alien turned its head slightly, like the question was foolish. "To judge if your kind is fit for the galactic stage. Surrender a sample. Resistance will delay the process." Their tone was not hostile, but it was not respectful either. They were not here to meet equals. They were here to examine. Like scientists testing insects, the message was broadcast to world leaders within minutes. A global emergency call took place. Countries argued about the right response. Some wanted to send a peaceful representative. Some refused to submit to alien demands. Some believed any resistance could cause war. In the end, a decision was made, not out of bravery but out of fear. A small group would go. A scientist, a communicator, a soldier, and a doctor. Just 4 people. Enough to show cooperation but not weakness. Among the chosen were Dr. Aaron Miles for decoding the signal, Sarah Lynn for communication, Lieutenant Jenna Cruz, Marine, top in survival and combat training, Dr. Malik Hassan, medical expert before leaving, Aaron stood alone on the runway beside the aircraft that would take them to the Azark landing point. He looked up at the night sky. Stars had always brought him hope. Now they felt like eyes watching Earth. Sarah walked up beside him. "Do you think they come in peace?" she asked quietly. Aaron's answer was slow and honest. "I think peace wasn't their first thought." When the team reached the Pacific site, the alien craft opened once again. This time, the Azark did not ask. They simply motioned with a gesture, like calling pets inside. Jenna whispered, "They don't respect us." Not even a little. No one argued, because she was right. As the four humans stepped inside the alien craft, the entrance closed behind them, sealing them in darkness. The floor shifted, and the craft rose into the sky silently. Earth watched their only four representatives taken, not welcomed, by visitors from the stars. No one realized the truth yet. The Azark had not come to make first contact. They had come to collect specimens. The moment the entrance closed, the inside of the Azark craft lit up with a cold blue glow. The walls looked alive, shifting like liquid metal. The floor moved smoothly beneath their feet, carrying the humans forward as if the ship itself was deciding where they should go. Dr. Aaron Miles, Sarah Lynn, Lieutenant Jenna Cruz, and Dr. Malik Hassan stayed close together. None of them spoke. They had entered the unknown and could not predict what waited for them. Soon they reached a large chamber. The ceiling curved high above, like the inside of a giant dome. Strange machines floated in the air, humming softly. The air felt clean but thin, as if the ship controlled every breath. Azark guards stood around the room, tall and emotionless. Their armor was elegant, dark, and marked with glowing symbols that looked like rank or identity. Their large black eyes did not show anger or fear, only cold study. A new figure entered, taller than the others, wearing a silver mantle over his armor. He carried himself like someone used to giving commands. This was Commander Zaroth, leader of the Azark research fleet. He stopped in front of the humans and stared at them as if inspecting objects. "Species, human," the translator spoke with no feeling. "Planet of origin, Earth, young, undeveloped, emotionally unstable. Examination begins." Jenna stepped forward, her voice firm. "We are not here to be examined. We came to talk." The commander turned his head slightly. "Your role is irrelevant. You were contacted as samples. Do not confuse your status." Jenna opened her mouth to respond, but Aaron placed a hand on her arm. Now was not the time to fight. The Azark led them into separate testing rooms. Each one was built like a lab, mixed with a medical center, but far more advanced. Smooth surfaces, floating devices, and tools that moved without touch. Dr. Malik was strapped into a chair as machines scanned his body with beams of light. Sarah was connected to a device that monitored her brain activity. Aaron sat in a chair with a curved screen in front of him. Symbols flashed across the screen, faster and faster. It was a test for intelligence. He recognized patterns quickly, solving each puzzle. The machine increased difficulty after every correct answer. The Azark scientists watching him whispered among themselves, "Rapid pattern recognition, higher than projected." Aaron could not understand the alien language, but their tone showed surprise. In another room, Lieutenant Jenna Cruz faced a physical test. She was placed inside a chamber with increased gravity. Her feet sank heavier into the floor. Her breath grew thick. The gravity doubled, tripled. Her muscles strained. Sweat formed, but she stayed standing. The Azark monitoring her spoke calmly. "Human physical endurance below standard." "Test complete." Jenna clenched her teeth. She refused to fall. "Below standard." "Try harder," she muttered. The gravity rose again. Her legs trembled, but she locked her stance, refusing to drop. Her face turned red, but still she stayed upright. The machine beeped loudly. "Unexpected resistance. Adjusting results." Jenna smirked. That's more like it. Hours passed. The humans were tired, hungry, and confused. The Azark did not hurt them, but their behavior showed one thing clearly. The Azark believed they were superior. Finally, the humans were taken to a large observation hall filled with different alien species, not as guests, but as captives. Some looked weak and hopeless. Others seemed frightened. They were kept in separate sections, studied like animals in a lab. Aaron's heart sank. "We're not the first," a soft voice answered beside him. "You won't be the last." It came from a small alien with silver skin and large blue eyes. He was thin, weak, and shaking slightly. He had been there long enough to lose hope. Sarah knelt beside him. "How long have you been here?" The alien closed his eyes. "Time means nothing here. They take, they test, they judge. If a species fails, they erase it." Sarah felt a chill run through her body. "Erase? You mean—" Before she could finish, Commander Zaroth entered the hall. All noise stopped. Even the prisoners froze in fear. The commander stood before the humans and spoke to all watching scientists. Observation: humans show emotional instability, physical limits, and uncontrolled curiosity. They lack discipline. They are not ready for the galactic stage. Jenna stepped forward, anger visible in her eyes. "You don't know anything about us." Commander Zaroth glanced at her like she was a child speaking out of place. "We judge thousands of species. Humans are weak, primitive. Your potential is limited." Jenna took one more step forward. "Then why are you afraid to face us without cages?" For the first time, the room fell silent in a different way. Some Azark scientists looked at each other. Commander Zaroth leaned closer. "Fear. We do not fear insects." Jenna stared right back. "Funny, where I'm from, the ones who talk like that usually fear the most." The commander did not respond with words. He simply turned away and motioned to his guards. "Record this sample's aggression for report. We begin Phase 2 testing at once." As the humans were taken away, one thing became clear. The Azark did not see them as equals, or even as a threat. But soon, the aliens would understand a truth. They never expected humans break under pressure, but they also rise from it. The next morning on the Azark ship began with alarms echoing through the halls. Not warning alarms, testing alarms. The Azark had decided to begin Phase 2, a stage meant to break a species mentally and physically to measure their true limits. Humans were taken to a new section of the ship. The walls here were darker, colder, and covered with glowing symbols like warnings. The air felt heavier, as if the place itself was meant to crush hope. Jenna Cruz walked with steady steps, refusing to show fear. Dr. Aaron Miles observed everything around him, studying the tech and layout. Sarah Lynn held her hands together, trying to stay calm. Dr. Malik Hassan whispered prayers under his breath. Commander Zaroth waited for them in a large circular chamber. It had 5 separate testing areas around the edges and a raised platform in the center where Azark scientists watched from above. Phase 2. Resistance and Adaptation, the translator device announced. Zaroth looked down at the humans as if bored. "All species break here. You will be no different." Jenna stared up at him. "We'll see." Sarah was placed first inside a mental projection chamber. A dome lowered around her head. Lights flickered. Strange sounds whispered in her ears. Images flashed. Earth shaking, oceans burning, people she loved disappearing. It was a psychological attack meant to break her mind with fear and loss. Sarah's heart raced. Tears formed, but she kept repeating to herself, "This is not real. This is not real." The machine increased the intensity. Her breathing grew uneven, but she held on. Azark scientists observed calmly. "Most species break in under 5 minutes," one noted. Sarah lasted 9. When she finally stumbled out, she was shaking, pale and sweating, but she was still standing. Aaron caught her before she fell. "You did good, Sarah. You stayed in longer than they thought possible," the Azark wrote on their tablets. Human mental resistance, higher than predicted. For the first time, a few alien observers looked uncertain. Dr. Malik Hassan was placed next. His test was simple but cruel. He was strapped to a table where a machine delivered controlled pain through nerves, not enough to cause permanent damage, but enough to force screams. An alien voice said, "Pain exposure test. Most species surrender. A few lose sanity." The machine activated. Malik gasped, clenching his teeth. He remembered his hospital days on Earth, the pain of seeing patients suffer, and how he kept calm for them. Minutes passed. Sweat rolled down his forehead. He shook, but did not cry out. Finally he yelled, but not in pain. He yelled in anger, "Is this all you can do?" The Azark, observing him, stepped back slightly. Human pain tolerance, unexpected. Aaron was placed in a sealed room. The oxygen slowly decreased as a puzzle appeared on the wall. Solve the puzzle, and oxygen returns. Fail, and the room suffocates. Aaron understood quickly. This was a test to measure intelligence under stress. Symbols flashed. Patterns shifted. Every mistake reduced more oxygen. Aaron's hands trembled. His brain worked fast, connecting patterns and logic. He solved the first puzzle, then the second, then the third. His chest tightened as air thinned. He forced his mind to stay focused. He solved the final puzzle just before losing consciousness. Azark scientists whispered, shocked. Humans problem solve even under near-death conditions. Adaptive thinking, dangerous if evolved. The word dangerous was new. It had never been used for humans before. Jenna's final test was one the Azark were confident would end any resistance. She was placed in a gravity pit, the same as before, but far stronger. The pressure multiplied, crushing her to her knees. Her bones felt like they would snap. Breathing felt like lifting mountains. Azark scientists watched closely. They expected surrender. Jenna forced herself up, 1 inch at a time. Her muscles shook violently, but she kept pushing. She remembered her training, her father's words, her duty, her planet. Her legs straightened. She stood. The room of aliens fell silent. One Azark scientist dropped her tool in shock. Jenna looked up at Commander Zaroth through the observation glass, sweat dripping from her chin. "Still think we're weak?" she said through clenched teeth. Zaroth did not answer, but the slight movement in his jaw showed something rare. After the tests, the humans were returned to the holding area. Their bodies felt weak, but their spirits did not. The small silver alien they met earlier approached again. "You don't understand," he said softly. "No species resists phase 2. Never. You are not supposed to endure. You were supposed to break." Aaron replied, "Maybe your galaxy doesn't know humans yet." On the observation deck, Azark scientists discussed the results with deep concern. One spoke quietly. "If these are baseline humans, what will they become if they advance?" Another added, "We should not have brought them here." Commander Zaroth listened, silent, but his eyes narrowed. A thought troubled him, a thought he never expected to feel about humans. What if this species is dangerous? For the first time, the Azark felt something new toward humans, not superiority, not annoyance, but fear. And that fear was only going to grow. The atmosphere inside the Azark ship changed after Phase 2. The guards no longer looked bored or confident. They walked with more caution, watching the humans closely as if expecting trouble. Dr. Aaron Miles noticed it first. "They're nervous," he whispered to Jenna, while guards escorted them through the hallway. Jenna replied softly, "Good, they should be." They were taken back to their holding area. But this time, something was different. One of the machines mounted in the corner, normally silent, suddenly flickered with symbols. It displayed data Aaron did not recognize at first. Then his eyes widened. "I've seen this pattern before. These are system access keys." The small silver alien, the same one who had warned them earlier, stood nearby, trembling. He whispered, "The tests showed them something they fear. The Azark never fear. Now they do. I can help, but if they discover it, I disappear. Aaron stepped closer. Why help us? The small alien looked at the guards and spoke in a soft, broken voice. Because my world did not fight, and now it is gone. His name was Rylax, and he had been on the ship for years. He had seen dozens of species taken, tested, judged, and removed forever. Rylax pointed at the machine. This controls the observation systems in this block. I can change it for a short time. You will have 3 minutes without cameras. After that, they will notice. Jenna's expression sharpened, ready for action. 3 minutes is enough. Jenna gathered the group in a corner as the cameras shut off. Listen carefully. We can't overpower them with strength. But we can use surprise and their own tech. Aaron nodded. I've been studying their doors and panels. Their systems respond to patterns and logic. If I disrupt it at the right point, their security will break for a few seconds, Sarah added. We only need seconds to slip through, Dr. Malik whispered, and after we escape this block. Then what? Jenna answered firmly, we free others. If we stand alone, we die. If we stand together, we fight. They moved fast. Aaron accessed the wall panel using the system pattern he memorized from the test chamber. His fingers moved quickly. He touched symbols in a sequence. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the door slid open with a soft hiss. The group stepped out. Rylax stayed behind. I will misdirect them. Buy you time. Sarah touched his shoulder. Come with us. Rylax shook his head. If I leave now, they will know. If I stay, they will search the wrong place first. Aaron met his eyes with respect. Thank you. Rylax gave a sad smile. Make them regret. The hallway was empty. The Azark never expected humans to escape. Jenna took the lead, moving silently. They passed cells filled with frightened beings from different worlds. Some backed away, thinking the humans were Azark assistants. Others watched with wide, hopeless eyes. Jenna stopped and whispered, We're not leaving them. If we stay quiet, we die like them. We need allies. Aaron unlocked the first cell. A lizard-like creature stepped out, confused and weak. The next cell held 3 short, furry beings who stared at Jenna with fear. Sarah knelt. We're breaking out. If you want freedom, come. If not, stay hidden. Slowly, one by one, the prisoners chose to follow. Their fear began to shift into a spark of hope. In minutes, the humans had freed over 20 captives, all weak, scared, and unsure. But they were no longer alone. Dr. Malik whispered. We're turning a lab into an army, Jenna replied. Not army, family. We're all fighting for home. As they reached a junction, 2 Azark guards appeared. The guards raised energy rods, ready to stun. Jenna acted faster. She grabbed a metal tray from a nearby cart and hurled it at the first guard's face. The guard stumbled. Aaron pushed the second guard from behind as the furry creatures jumped onto him, biting and clawing. Dr. Malik swung a heavy tool at the first guard's arm, making him drop the weapon. Jenna snatched the energy rod and struck the guard across the chest. He collapsed. The second guard tried to stand, but Aaron kicked the fallen energy rod towards Sarah. Use it! Sarah, though scared, picked it up and shocked the guard before he could call backup. The prisoners watched in awe. They had never seen anyone fight the Azark. Jenna said loudly, so everyone could hear, This is how humans fight. We protect each other. For the first time, a cheer rose among the prisoners, soft but real. With enemy weapons and more allies joining, the group moved deeper into the ship. Alarms began to flash. The Azark had noticed the breach. A voice echoed through the speakers. Contain the humans. Do not allow spread, Aaron looked at Jenna. They said spread. They think ideas spread like disease, Jenna smirked. Then let's infect the whole ship. They reached a control hub. Circular room filled with glowing panels and floating screens. Aaron got to work while Jenna and the freed prisoners blocked the doors. Sarah watched the panels. Can you shut down security? Aaron shook his head. No, but I can give Earth a message. He connected the panel to the long-range beacon. He typed fast. A simple message, but powerful. Do not surrender. We can win. He sent it to Earth. On the observation deck, Commander Zaroth watched the chaos spread on the ship's screens. Humans were moving like wildfire, unpredictable, fast, fearless. An Azark scientist turned to him, frightened. Commander, We should have never taken them. Zaroth stared at the screen where Jenna stood at the front of the escape group, weapon in hand. For the first time, his voice held tension. Yes, we made a mistake. Humans were no longer samples. They were a threat. Chaos spread across the Azark ship like a storm. Alarms flashed red along the ceiling, and sharp warning sounds echoed through every corridor. The Azark had captured hundreds of species before, but never had they seen anything like this. Humans were not running to hide. Humans were running to fight. Commander Zaroth stood in the upper control room, watching multiple screens at once. Every new camera feed showed the same shocking sight. Humans and the freed captives moving as one, taking over sections of the ship. A young Azark officer spoke with panic in his voice. "Commander, they are spreading faster than we can contain. They don't wait for orders. They don't follow patterns. They act on instinct." Zaroth's jaw tightened. "Humans are unpredictable. This makes them dangerous," the officer gulped. "What should we do?" Zaroth answered quietly. Something no Azark commander had said in centuries. "We fall back." Jenna led the group with firm confidence. The once silent hallways now filled with footsteps, humans and aliens running together. The number had grown from 20 to almost 50. A tall, stone-skinned alien named Gorak approached Jenna. "You freed my people from the cages. Gorak owes a life debt." Jenna shook her head. "No debts. Just stay with us. We all get out together." Gorak looked at her with respect. He had never seen a species show strength and kindness at the same time. Aaron stayed by the control panels in each room they passed, dropping small disruptions in the Azark system. He whispered to Sarah as he worked, "These are seeds. Later, when they try to repair their system, these will break it again." Sarah smiled. "We're not just escaping. We're building a virus in their ship." Aaron chuckled softly. "Humans don't need claws or fangs. We have ideas." The group reached a wide hall where an Azark squad stood waiting, 10 armored soldiers, weapons raised. Jenna and the others stopped. "A direct fight here would cost lives." The Azark leader shouted, "Return to your cells. Resistance ends now." Everyone expected humans to panic. Instead, Jenna stepped forward boldly. "We're done being test subjects." The Azark hesitated. No species ever talked back during capture, and in that moment of hesitation, the freed captives roared. Gorak charged, slamming into 2 Azark soldiers. Sarah and 3 small, furry aliens rushed to the side, distracting others. Aaron threw one of the stolen energy rods across the floor. It slid under an Azark soldier, tripping him. 2 humans were grabbed, but Jenna swung her stolen weapon with force, knocking the Azark down. The prisoners, inspired, fought harder. The Azark squad broke formation. They stepped back. Then, shocking everyone, they retreated. For the first time in Azark history, a capture squad ran from a species they came to judge. A silence followed. Then someone whispered, "They're scared of us." Jenna breathed hard, adrenaline filling her chest. "Good, let them fear." As they continued forward, a familiar small figure appeared from a side passage. Rylax, the silver alien who had helped them escape the first room. He limped toward them, clearly hurt. Sarah rushed to him. "Rylax, what happened?" Rylax forced a weak smile. "They found out. I delayed them. Bought more time." Jenna put a hand on his shoulder. "You saved lives." Rylax shook his head. "Not enough. Listen carefully. The ship has 4 main energy cores. If you reach Core Chamber 2, you can cut power to the entire south side. That will unlock the launch bay. Your only way off this ship." Aaron nodded. "Can you guide us there?" Rylax hesitated. "Yes, but once the Azark know where you are going, they will send elite warriors." Jenna's eyes sharpened. "Then we move fast." Back in the control room, Azark commanders argued. One scientist said, "If humans escape this ship, their world will resist. We will lose our test source." Another added, "We never feared any species. But these humans, they refuse control. They refuse logic." Commander Zaroth raised a hand. "We came to judge them. We thought they were predictable. We were wrong. Humans adapt to fear instead of surrendering to it." A scientist whispered, "What if?" They are the species the ancient warning spoke of. Zaroth turned slowly. Explain. The scientist swallowed. There is an old record found in ruins of a dead empire. It said, if a species arrives that laughs in fear, run. The room fell silent. Zaroth stared at the screen, where Jenna and the others advanced through the corridors with fearless determination. For the first time in his life, the commander felt something foreign, not anger, not irritation, fear. The group reached a crossing tunnel. One path led to Core Chamber 2. The other path led to the prison deck, where over 100 more captives were still trapped. Jenna stopped. Everyone watched her, waiting for her call. Sarah whispered, if we go to the prison deck, we lose time. Azark may block the launch bay, Aaron said, but if we don't free them, they remain here, forever. Gorik spoke deeply. No one left behind. That is the human rule, yes? Jenna looked at both paths, her heart heavy. One path ensured escape. The other risked everything, but saved more lives. She finally spoke. We're not leaving anyone in chains. We free them all, then we escape. The group nodded with fierce agreement. Humans did not just want freedom, they wanted everyone to taste it. The prison deck doors slid open after Aaron hacked the panel. Inside, more than 100 beings from different worlds stared in shock. Most were weak, injured, or hopeless. They had spent days or months believing escape was impossible. Jenna stepped forward and raised her voice. Listen. We're leaving this ship. Not just us, all of us. But we need your help. If you can walk, stand. If you can fight, join us. If you can't, we will carry you. For a moment there was silence. Then a small voice came from the back. You came back for us? A thin, blue-skinned child stepped forward, trembling. Jenna knelt and placed a hand on their shoulder. No one gets left behind. That sentence spread through the crowded room like fire. Hope returned to eyes that had forgotten it. Strength returned to those who felt broken. Aliens who once feared humans now looked at them with respect. They moved quickly, freeing everyone. Those strong enough supported those who couldn't walk. Gorik carried 3 small captives on his shoulders. Humans helped bandage wounds and shared water. The rebellion had become an army, not built on power but on unity. Reaching the launch bay was harder this time. The Azark had placed barriers across the corridors, forcing the group to break through each one. Rylax guided them even as he grew weaker when they reached the final gate. Jenna knew this was the last wall between captivity and freedom. Behind the gate were 5 Azark elite soldiers, the strongest warriors in their empire. Their armor was thicker, their weapons sharper, their movements faster. These were not guards. They were executioners. One of them spoke with cold certainty. You should have surrendered when you had the chance. Jenna stepped forward, gripping her stolen weapon. We don't surrender. Not today. Not ever. The battle was intense. The elites fought with brutal skill. But humans and freed captives fought with something stronger, purpose. Sarah distracted 2 soldiers with thrown objects, while smaller aliens climbed and disabled their armor joints. Gorik tackled the largest elite, slamming him into the wall. Aaron used a device he had built from broken Azark tech. Sparks exploded across the gate machinery, short-circuiting the controls. One by one, the elite soldiers fell. At the final strike, silence filled the room. The gate slowly opened. Inside the launch bay, a round ship sat ready, small but large enough to fit them all if they compressed tightly. Freedom was finally in sight. As the captives boarded the escape craft, Rylax pulled Jenna aside. You must leave now. The Azark will not allow this ship to escape. Someone must stay and hold the door. Jenna shook her head. No, we all go. Rylax smiled sadly. You taught me something new, something my people never understood. Freedom is shared, but today this ship needs time to launch. I can give that, Sarah overheard and walked over. Then we stay with you. Rylax raised a hand. No, your world needs you. Other worlds need your warning. Aaron understood before the others did. Rylax is right. If we don't return to Earth, humanity will never prepare. Rylax looked at Jenna one last time. Tell the galaxy what humans did here. Tell them we fought. Tell them we were not weak. Jenna's voice broke slightly. Rylax, "Thank you," he bowed with respect, something Azark never did for other species. But Rylax was no Azark anymore. He had chosen a different path. The hatch closed. Rylax turned and faced the corridor alone, ready to block the Azark forces. The escape craft launched just as Azark soldiers stormed into the bay. Rylax's last act was pressing a console, sealing the launch doors and cutting power to the intercept systems. Outside the mothership, darkness of space surrounded them, but it was the most beautiful sight they had ever seen. They were free. Aaron worked fast at a console inside the escape craft. Sarah leaned over. "Can you send a message?" Aaron nodded. "Not only to Earth, to every listening station on every frequency." He connected wires, rerouted power, and typed quickly. The message he sent was short, clear, and carried a warning across the stars. "If the Azark come, do not surrender. They fear unity. They fear hope. They fear us." Back on the Azark ship, Commander Zaroth watched the escape vessel disappear. His officers waited for orders. They expected rage, punishment, or a vow to destroy Earth. Instead, Zaroth whispered something that chilled the room. "We judged them wrong. Humans are not a test species. They are a threat species." No Azark spoke after that. Days later, the escape craft entered Earth's orbit. A fleet of human aircraft surrounded them, not with guns pointed at them, but with relief and celebration. News spread faster than lightning across the world. They escaped. They saved others too. Humans fought aliens and won. When the four stepped back onto Earth, they were not the same people who left. They carried scars, memories, and the truth that humans were not weak. They were something the galaxy had never seen before. Crowds cheered. Families cried. Nations united, not out of fear, but out of pride. Jenna looked at the sky and whispered, "If aliens ever return, they'll find a different Earth waiting." 1 year later, a satellite detected a strange message from deep space. But this time, Earth did not fear it. The message was translated. It was not a threat. It was a warning, sent from a distant world. If you meet humans, treat them as equals. Or run. The galaxy now had a new unwritten rule. Not fear the Azark, but fear the humans.